welcome to Cool Cars, Interesting People. Well, they've been together for over 30 years, longer than many marriages, I must say. They run Danceworks. It's Candy Williams and also Mark Litchfield. We'll have a chat with them, talk about their life, their career, and what's next for them. Today, we're at McDonald Nissan. We have Brad White to come in here. Come on in, Brad. This is a Qashqai.
That's correct.
First off, you look at this and say, you're going green.
And it is very green, isn't
Yeah,
it? It's a key lime green metallic.
Yeah. What's the significance? Any reason for that, or just going cool?
Yeah, we wanted to go cool. We want to bring it out, and this color certainly brings it out.
Mm-hmm.
It also comes in a monarch orange metallic.
Right.
So those are our two brilliant colors in this model, but of course there's a vast array of colors.
Yeah, sure.
With this unit, of course.
And what's the significance of Qashqai? What does that mean?
Qashqai, it's actually an Iranian nomadic mountain tribe.
Yeah.
That lives in the mountains of Iran, of course. And so we thought we'd name it that because, of course, they're a very versatile, hardy group. And we believe the Qashqai is the very same. Hardy and versatile.
Yeah. And this is brand new to Lethbridge, too.
It is. Yes, it is. And it is the second generation Qashqai.
Mm-hmm.
Europe introduced it in the first generation. And now we're getting the second generation Qashqai here. And it's been very well taken in Europe, so I'm sure it'll be well taken in Canada as well.
What are some of the great features on this one?
This one here, this is a full load here. So of course you've got your rear cross traffic alert, you've got your adaptive cruise control, you have your dual climate control. So a vast array of safety features. And with the leather interior, this unit here, it lists at just around 34. So it's in direct competition with the Toyota CHR and also the Honda HR-V. So it's another one to look at, and with the 23 cubic feet in the back, lots of storage as well, and great comfort.
And we got room for 3 people on this one?
We certainly do. We can stick 5 in there if we want to squeeze all of us in today.
Well, probably not today, but let's dance our way to the next segment, shall we? Don't cry for me, Argentina. Someone's got to do it from the balcony here.
I'll just do this.
Evita, wave there. Come down.
Hey, it's Che.
Come down, please. I know Candy just had some knee surgery, but look at you.
I'm going to do it, you know that.
Yeah, very good. And this is our car right here.
Yes. That's been there 10 years, I think.
10 years? Plus.
Is this yours?
That's mine, yeah.
And it's just sort of
I
there?
parked it here when we moved here, and it hasn't moved since.
And please notice, it's the best parking of the whole place. The car that doesn't move.
Just $100 we can fix it up, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a few grand, but
we'll probably take this one then. This is a Qashqai.
okay.
It's from Nissan. There you go.
Excellent.
Come on inside. This one will get us better than this one.
Yeah, well, then we'll have to push it. And even then, it might be a problem. Excellent.
Here we are. Push button. Those things they probably didn't work in yours. That one. No push button.
No, doesn't even have cruise.
Ah, dear. What? Tell me about why do you still have that car? Is there a reason? Like, is that a love of your life or something?
Just really,
I can tell you why. You're trying to hold on to your youth.
Is that what it is?
You won't give it up.
Really like that car, and I really would like to get it going again.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I took it. That was on. I took it to Los Angeles. I took it a drive to Los Angeles, and at that particular time in the 80s, late 80s.
Yeah.
It was $100 round trip in gas. You know.
That has changed.
Yes, but still,
so proud of
but it was still $100 round trip. I thought, you know,
How is it with the ladies?
well, there's no place to. The gear shift in the way, you know. It wasn't bad, but it was just a fun little two-around car. It was
And one day.
It was cheap to
You
run.
have to remember when you bought it, right?
It was in the 80s.
Yeah. I mean,
Was it brand new at the time?
Yes,
Wow.
it was a demo, but but
he was a new man alone. Needed a little sports car.
Yes.
Well, it was either that or a Monte Carlo, and I felt, I'm going to be an old man with a Monte Carlo, so I'll drive this little guy.
Well, Candy, because you're from England and you used to drive on the other side of the road, of course.
Yes.
Right. What was your first go round? What kind of a lorry did you have?
What kind of a what?
A lorry.
A lorry did
Yes.
I have. In England?
Yeah.
Actually, my very first car in England was an Angular.
Angular.
I don't think they even sold them over
Don't even
here.
know what that is.
But then I really got into minis.
Of course.
And I also had a sports car,
Kind of a sports car.
Triumph.
Oh. Ooh. Okay, how did you come to Canada? What's the story there?
The truth?
I'm talking to Mark. No. no.
Oh, yeah,
Yes. No.
The actual truth
Candy.
really
Yeah.
is I came for, my parents have already moved over here, and my sister and her husband and my niece.
Yeah.
And I came for a 6-week holiday.
That was it.
And do you think anyone's missed me by now?
You never went back much?
I
or
went
you-
back for vacations,
Yeah.
but I never went back. I actually emigrated from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That was
oh,
tough. That was a long
I'll bet.
trip. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
What made you decide that you needed to stay here?
My mom and dad.
They were here. Yeah.
They were here. My
Yeah.
sister was here. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best of roads I was on back then, so it was a good one to take.
Ah.
Yeah.
Were you a nasty girl?
No, I was a good girl.
But you were,
I just met some nasty people.
this isn't the way it goes.
Yeah.
So, but happy to have made this move? Is there any regrets
Oh yeah,
about leaving?
honestly,
Yeah.
Canada's my home. Yeah.
Because whereabouts in England were you from?
London?
Right in London.
Yeah, right in London. Yeah.
It's a big city now too, isn't it?
You can't afford. I could not afford to live in
Is
London.
it as expensive there
Do you-
as it is like
a
in
normal
Vancouver?
flat? Do you know what a normal flat is in England now?
Oh, I've no idea.
Over £1 million.
Yeah.
Million. So that'd
Yeah.
be like 2 million Canadian.
And when
Yeah.
I was over there, it would have been about £500.
Wow.
£5,000. What did?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, I just heard it just went up. The increase in housing and stuff went up 65% in Greater London
Holy cow.
in the
Wow.
last couple of years.
How do people afford to
I
live
know.
in anywhere?
I know.
That's where you.
How do you pay the bills?
You will your mortgage to your children.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Holy
probably
cow.
the only way.
Or you just fake your death.
Yeah. That's it.
I think. Oh my gosh.
You want to, like, if you rent over there and you want a nice home,
Yeah.
you're looking at 7,000, 8,000 a month rent.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pounds or is that?
That's pounds.
Good lord. So that again, it's like 14,000 Canadian somewhat.
It's ridiculous.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So that's why I'm here. I can get better things for the dollar
I
than
would
the
imagine
pound.
so.
Yeah.
You guys know Java the Hutt,
Ah, yes.
and you know the Moose Hall because Little Shop of Horrors is going to be there, and apparently you've got something to do with it.
Yes, we
Apparently.
do.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing a little choreography with that.
Good. We'll have a discussion. Let's see if they've got some coffee there for us, shall we?
Excellent.
Good. There we are. Good. Come along.
Is Brian working?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Welcome to Jabba the Hutt.
Excellent.
Brian.
Mark Campbell! It's been so long.
Yes.
I thought you were dead.
Many people have wished that.
How do you answer that one, eh?
Y'all know Candy and Mark. They're doing your show.
Candy.
Yeah.
We'll see you tonight.
Hey.
You're at rehearsals tonight.
Yeah, I know.
We phoned ahead. What do you got for us?
I have for you, Mark, a special treat. It's
Nice.
a cappuccino,
Nice.
just for you.
Yeah.
For Miss Candy, I have a butter rum latte.
Right on the rum.
Okay, it's not real rum. And then for Mr. Mark, we have an Americano with coffee beans that were just roasted yesterday by my roaster, Luis Velasco Perez. He's from Venezuela,
Wow.
Colombia, now lives in Lethbridge, and he's roasting my beans for me.
Not bad for someone who
Roasted
just
beans
said,
roasting on an open fire.
Not bad for
There you
someone
go.
who said I just have a plain black coffee.
All right.
Good.
Excellent.
Let's go into the moose.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, first off, thanks for doing this, you guys.
Oh,
how's the mocha Java Jova Maca?
It is excellent.
It's very
It's
good.
really good.
Very
Yeah.
Right.
Cheers.
Coffee that tastes like coffee.
Yeah, all right. Okay, let's take. Let me ask the question you must get asked 1,000 times, and I even introduced the show as this. Over 30 years together. What the? Alva. You know, like I said, you know, it's like marriages don't last that long.
That's
you
what
guys, yeah.
I know.
That's what we've always said. Most marriages
Yeah.
are over before.
But so it's 34.
Yeah.
34 years doing
What
this
we're
whole
doing,
thing.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to chalk that up to something pretty special.
I think probably
We don't go home together. That's
we've always,
That's important. Yeah.
because when you're together as much as we are and you're doing as much as
Yeah.
we've done, we've always been asked, you guys are married, right? You're a couple,
Yeah.
or you're, no. This is why we're still together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he
You
goes
go
home
away.
to someone,
Yes.
I go home to someone.
Yeah.
So I think, but we do have a great friendship as well as a good business
How did
partnership.
that? Okay, let's go back like 34 years ago when you. How did this all come about? What made you? Who said who to what, and then who said
Well,
what to who?
I'll repeat her story that she tells as best I can, and then she can pipe in every once in a while. No, because it was actually during Brigadoon, which we had done together, right?
And you were drinking a little wine.
Anyway, I was just a chorus person in Brigadoon.
Just a chorus person.
Well, which is actually my favorite
Yeah, of
role,
course,
because
yeah,
then you
yeah.
can steal the show if you can. Until they say shut up. Anyway, and so while doing the show, a fellow director, that was Fran Rood, told Candy to go see the show, that there was somebody that she should take a look at, and
For what?
But she actually said, I found your counterpart, someone who can do on the stage what you do. And she
Really?
said, I never thought I would find anyone. And she wouldn't tell me who it was. So she told me I had to go and see the show, and I told her I didn't want to go and see the show.
Stupid
But to cut a
Brigadoon.
long story short, she gave me a ticket, and I went to see the show, and Mark wasn't on for the first few minutes, and I'm looking on the stage going, okay, who am I looking for? And Mark entered the stage for the first time, and within 30 seconds I said, I hope that's who she's talking about.
Really?
Yeah.
And was it?
Yes, it was. And after that, I went up to him and said, told him my name and said, don't ever forget it.
yeah, and then she asked me to help her dance in a show that she was choreographing.
Yeah.
And then after we got involved in the show, it was just a dance show for Alberta something or other. Anyway, whatever, you know what happens here. Anyway, we started choreographing together on this show to get this show ready.
Because there was
and-
boys and girls in it, right? So I said, well, we got to set a rock and roll type of number where you stay behind and help, and that was it. The rest is history.
Yeah, and then we got together, I think, went for coffee and
We have a
said,
big-
hey, we should. We actually originally wanted to start a little dance company. We wanted to, I shouldn't say steal, we wanted to collect some of the people that were, the kids that were still dancing. We didn't want to open a studio, we just wanted to collect some of the kids and have a group
little
of
dance
dancers that we
company.
could do something with. And the requirements were they had to continue taking dance wherever they were.
Yeah.
We just, because we didn't want to get through the process of training or whatever, we just wanted to choreograph. And we got no support from the city at all, so we said, oh, what the hell, we'll just start training our own. And with no money in the bank and that sort of stuff, we just walked in and rented a spot.
And that was on 13th Street.
13th Street, yeah.
Originally, right?
Yeah.
And we're still business partners on a handshake.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
All these years later.
Why does this work? This partnership? How did? I mean, that in itself is unique that you guys work well together too. You know, you're friends as well, but the fact that it works, what is it?
I think there's a couple of things. I think that we both have different talents that we can bring to the table, and Mark's good at, and I'm not just talking about dance, I'm talking about the other ones, but we are so on the same page.
Yeah.
Like, we sometimes finish each other's sentences when we're talking, right? And we do the same with choreography. We never say this is the part that Mark choreographed or this is the part that I choreographed.
Yeah.
We do it as a team.
Lennon-McCartney.
It is. We
Well, it
just,
seems to work, and I know that there's a certain aspect of the rehearsal process. I mean, because I love the rehearsal process. I like that more than the actual show going up. The show going up, we're done. go do your thing or whatever, you know. But the
I'm doing
rehearsal
my
process where you've gone through, you've molded it to the point that you can say, yes, I'm satisfied with this particular number. But there is a certain point that I know that she is much better at than I am. That's the cleaning, the little tweaks and that sort of stuff. And so I can sit back and I can go, it needs something here. and
Bail me out.
and she'll see what the tweak is, you know, and then it's just it just works that way, and I really like that. So
I think we've never, as partners, I don't think we've ever been him and I. We've always been a team.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it
and
as a team. We do everything in that area as a team. It's never. It doesn't matter who come up with the idea. We've never said that was, even if we think it, we'll say, oh, I like that you did, but we don't really think
So
of
the
it.
egos get checked at the door, pretty much.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I mean, we may have a tantrum every once in a while,
Yeah.
but
Well,
no.
having worked with both of you, though, I mean, and having worked with someone who was Muriel Jolliffe, for people who know her, and it was, you guys, and I'm not exaggerating,
No,
am I?
No, you're not.
You guys have, you're the epitome of patience. So is that a good thing in the dance world, or is that, do you not get the results that you could have gotten if you were a little screamier?
No, I don't. I think the thing that we bring to the table, which other people in theatre choreography don't always bring to the table, is we never do anything that we can do. We always work for what the actor can do.
Right.
Right? And as long as you're working, and that's why we tweak.
Yeah.
We have the idea because we know the person, or we worked with them, and we build off of that. But it's never been about, oh, I can do like a triple turn.
Yeah.
And there's someone who just sings and's never had a dance lesson in their life. They'd be lucky if they don't fall on their face if they did one turn, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to work for the actor, and I think that's what
Well, that's what you
makes
get.
us patient.
Sure, but and if you're doing, say, a Lethbridge musical theater show where you're getting a lot of people who are maybe first timers.
Yeah, right.
So you don't want to overdo it, and you want to make that experience pleasant for them as well. You don't want to be all of a sudden you're embarrassed and you can't do it and you get yelled at. That's never a positive.
Yeah,
I know.
so I've worked with choreographers who yell and scream and that sort of stuff. And every time you go, you think to yourself, the show's over, I will never work with that person again. Ever work with that person again. They do produce a good thing. So then when another thing comes up, you have to say, I have to weigh my ego. It's going to be brutalized here versus the product that's going to come out. And I've never wanted to be that person. I never wanted to be the person that says, okay, I don't ever want to work with you again. I want to be able to, next time a show comes up, and if I want to do it, I want people to say, yeah, I don't mind that Mark's choreographing the show, or Mark and Candy, and so I think that's part of it.
I should go back just Muriel Jolliffe. I loved Muriel Jolliffe, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I did
she was,
too.
I mean,
too.
and she
boy,
got results, but
she knew her stuff.
I mean, because she would start the rehearsal process by saying, first off, I'm sorry for what is about to happen. I'm going to lose my mind a few times. So if you got into it knowing that, you'd be a little
I
better.
think,
I
I think the other
understand that.
thing
And if
to
I was
realize
talking-
as well is Muriel Jolliffe came from the ballet world.
Yeah.
And the ballet world back in her, back in her time.
Are you saying ballet,
It
or
was
ballet?
ballet,
Oh,
yeah.
bloody British.
It was
You can't understand a
really,
word she's saying, eh?
No, I love
it
Muriel.
was,
I do.
yeah, I do too.
I do.
It
She
really
just- sometimes
was,
I
she
go,
was, that's how she
wow.
was taught.
Yeah.
When I was first taking dance, they hit you. If you did, and I'm serious.
Yeah.
So you can't, like they would come and tap your legs if you weren't doing
Yeah.
it right, and
Yeah.
and that's what it was. It's no longer, thank goodness, that anymore that we know about, but. I think that made a difference as well. That's what she was, and I'm a firm believer that bees make honey, they don't make vinegar. You might as well be nice to people.
Yes.
It takes just as much work to be mean as it does to be nice.
So in the beginning, when did you say, okay, here you must have had to come up with a plan, saying, okay, we're gonna teach 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds to dance, get to the advanced stages. I mean, that takes a lot of planning, and of course you need people to register too, right?
Yeah.
So how did it go in the early going? What were your? Did you just say, I don't know?
Well, our goal was to eventually have a company of people that can perform. That was the intent, and that's what we sort of strive to work towards. But yes, you got to start out with our 42 students that we started out with, or whatever, and build from there. And so We did everything that everybody else was doing. We taught the little ones. We went through that process. And then as we got to the older ones, we finally said that contemporary dance is what we both had this
Passion for.
Yeah, because I mean, we grew up
Finishing sentences.
we grew up in the 60s, early 70s. That's where our dance thing was, where all of that experimentation was going on, and it was free, and it was you know,
There was no limit.
that's right. Dancers showing the birth of something, you know, and all that sort of expression was going on. But that's what influenced us. So with that, it just we then said we're going to start doing contemporary dance here, and that's what our focus is, and has always been. Even though we teach jazz and we teach tap and all that sort of stuff.
Ballet.
And ballet, yes, but it's the contemporary modern, or more modern than contemporary. But modern dance is what our focus is with the studio. Although things
That's the
have
choreographer in
changed
us.
nowadays. But,
What, like, is hip hop has become bigger, or
No, it's going down.
It's
What-
worse than that. Well, of course, I'm older, and I'm at the stage where how it used to be was better, and now it's not.
yeah, yeah.
And but anyway, yeah, and way too much acrobats and.
Yeah.
Flips, and that's not dance.
like
That's
acrobatics belongs in the
that's
gym.
That's Circus Soleil, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
which is fine, good entertainment. You don't want your 8-year-old doing Circus Soleil
Yeah,
tricks
yeah.
across the floor with no mat. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you just don't. And, but I think it spoils some integrity as far
Yeah,
as
we all-
artistry and dance. It's like saying, okay, yes, this velvet painting of Elvis Presley is my art.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and we're determined to keep the artistry in dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just determined, like it's regardless the consequences, we're going to keep it as an art form and a well-respected art form, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys still doing like the dance reviews, the competitions? You
Yeah.
doing any of that? Is that a good thing to get into for kids?
Our philosophy again is different than most.
Yeah.
And it's the
because
same.
I almost feel that some of the studios, it's a way to make additional revenue,
Right.
and it's not a way to teach dance.
Yeah.
But it's just another moneymaker. But I think that competition is good for the kids because you make them focus and work towards a goal, which is in a short term, and so they become better in a shorter period of time. But
And that's how they're learning their craft as you go
right,
on. Yeah.
and so I think that competition is good, but to spend your life or spend from February to May traveling around the province competing against other studios, then we become a sport,
Yeah.
and again the artistry isn't there. So I think it's good to do. But it's not. It shouldn't be what the whole dance world is. Dance should have artistry to it.
Yeah.
It
And
just
like-
should be.
And 90% of what we put into competition, unless the kids are too young to do it, is modern.
Yeah.
So we get a way to express
Yeah.
our passion as well through it as
Yeah.
well.
So you guys
Yeah.
never win anything then?
we actually we do well.
We do okay. It
You
just
know.
depends on who's
the judge, yeah.
the judges, and
Yeah.
if the judges are studio-based, commercial
yeah.
sort of stuff, we don't do as well as if somebody who has a little bit of
More
understanding of
artistry,
what.
then we do really well. So
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, I mean, because I don't know if I could deal with this, because there is the ballet school in Toronto that if you're 9 or 10 years old, you can send your daughter
Yeah.
to go to school to live and be a ballet dancer for
Right.
the rest of her life.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that to my daughter.
Well,
What's your thoughts on that? I mean, maybe you're from a different world or a different
I'm a
perspective.
different world because when I was 9, I went to a
You did?
school,
To an
but not a ballet school, but I went to a theatrical school.
And so did like
Away
going
from
away,
home,
yeah?
yeah.
And so what's your take on that?
My take on it is when a few people in town know that that was my education, right? And I've had some people, not just from our school, but from other schools, say, what do you think of that? And the first thing I say is, can they wash their own hair?
Yeah.
And they say, no. I said, well, they're not ready to leave home.
Yeah.
I would never have sent Michelle
Your
at
daughter.
9. And I wouldn't change one thing about my education.
No?
Yeah.
So that was good for
So
you.
it was good for me, and I didn't know any different. And I was the type of kid that could just
Yeah.
keep going, no matter what.
You've got young kids right now, right?
I do.
Yeah.
So could you see yourself
Then on
saying,
his
No,
grandkids.
no, and because again, I have a different philosophy. Because I think the working in the dance business as a professional dancer is one of the hardest jobs to be in. You got to have a big ego. You got to be able to dance circles around everybody to earn your $25 a day.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And then at 25, you're too old.
yeah, and then you're out of it. So it's a tough business to get into, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I always tell our kids that if you want to get into dance, and when you leave here, finish your high school degree or high school programs, and then go away, go to where you want to be. If you want to be in a ballet school in Toronto, then go out to Toronto and register or get involved in the university, and then start taking classes at the university, but do some dance classes, because very often the choreographer that's doing something for the Toronto for repertory dance is doing some choreography for the university.
Right.
And then if you're seen by him or get in his show or her show, and then you go to an audition there, you
There's a
got your
connection.
foot
Yeah,
in the
you
door.
go for it.
And if you fail,
still
or
got
you
your
find it's
education.
not,
You're still working on
you're
something
working, you've
else.
got yourself a degree to go to.
Yeah.
And then you can do like everybody else does and go teach at some studio.
And we had dancers who didn't go on to being dance teachers, but they went on to being teachers,
Yeah.
and they bring a lot of it into the schoolroom now.
Yeah.
Like they got the jobs because of it, because they had something else to offer, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And they teach a little different because they learned it different ways of teaching,
Yeah.
and it wasn't just down the straight and narrow. And they've got good jobs, and they've phoned us and said, "This is why I got
That's
the
nice.
job because of that." So it takes you a long place. It doesn't just take you into the dance world. And if it did, we wouldn't have too many doctors and everything, because more people dance than anything.
At the end of the day, when you see a student doing something, what gives you the most satisfaction within the dancing world that you've created for them?
For them?
Yeah, no, for you. What makes you say, this is why I do this?
Well, there's a couple of things. One is when because we instill a creativeness in the classroom environment, whether they're taking tap or whether they're doing hip hop or whatever. We try and incorporate as much creativity as far as the students. So the students are allowed to create and explore, and we allow students, if they create a dance and they think it's hey, I want to do this or perform for somebody, if it is show worthy or can get show worthy or whatever, we'll put it in a recital or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's satisfying when you watch a student grow up and then start doing pieces that you go, damn, why didn't I think of that? That's a really, really good piece.
Yeah.
We have some really amazing kids who can choreograph that. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, because they were allowed to, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to die one day, sorry, Mark, but we're not going to be around forever. And I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I would never have been a creator unless someone had allowed me to create.
Yeah.
And you cannot just feed in this and this and this and this and expect. You might turn out a good dancer, but you're not going to turn out further than that.
Right.
So if you allow them their own creativity to express themselves, then amazing things. Like I've seen numbers that I've got. I actually recently wrote to someone and said that it was a couple of years ago, and I'm not going to say who it was, and I actually said after seeing her work on that stage that the student has outdone the teacher.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. That's nice. How cool is it now, since you've been doing this for 34 years, to see your students who are 4 or 5 years old now are coming back to you with their kids who are 4 or 5 years old? That's pretty
Well, it's
cool,
absolutely
eh?
wonderful,
Yeah.
but I
It's
just
cool,
cover
but makes
all
me
the
feel
mirrors. I cover the mirrors. Obviously, if I'm teaching this 12-year-old,
Yeah.
I'm old, right? So, but it's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice to know that their experience, we've got lots of that. It's nice to know their experience with us was enough that their kids were going to have their children's children were going to have an experience that they're bringing them back to us.
What about, since we're in the Moose Hall, and you guys have done a lot of choreography for LMT or
Yeah.
other shows or for whatever shows,
Yeah.
how do you like that aspect of it, taking a show, creating your own version of what the choreography is expected of you, and then see it come to fruition?
Yeah, well, again, getting back, that's the process
Yeah,
I
I was
like.
going to, we would
Yeah.
love that.
I really like.
hate the show,
Sitting down and saying this is the direction we're going to take the show. Like I think when we did Anything Goes, we said to ourselves, we want to do every old style choreography that we can. We want to do Busby Berkeley. We want to do this and Pan's Hermes and Hermes Pan, and we wanted to do every one of these styles as we could in the show. And so that's what we. So it was
Yeah.
fun to try and do that.
To recapture that.
And our compliment when we do a show, and she'll say this over and over again, is when you go see a show and you don't even realize there's choreography in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's when we go. So it doesn't stand out.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit you over the head and say, yes, oh, look at this, kickball, change, step, turn, oh, slide to the floor, what a great split they can do.
Sorry, I'm just doing some of your choreography.
But yes, but to do something that becomes subtle. I mean, yes, when we did Fiddler, there was lots of dance stuff in there and that sort of thing. But then it becomes, then you can say, yes, I'm going to do traditional. We're going to be as traditional as we can, and show that.
And I think the other reason to think about things, musical theatre isn't dance.
Is in doubt?
Isn't dance.
Oh, is in dance? Oh, I see.
It might have dance steps in it, but it's more than dance. It's a different form of a talent, right? So just because you teach dance or you can do dance doesn't mean that you can create. You might be able to create a very nice dance number, but there's more to making theatre work than just what the dancer's doing. So you've got the tri-level in there, right?
Yeah.
The director and the musical director and the choreographer all trying to bring something together to make it.
I think we're thinking about, all of a sudden a dance breaks out in a like it's one thing about a musical show. Sometimes they're saying, why is there all of a sudden a dance going on?
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
Right.
Which is nice with some of the shows that you do. It just meshes.
It just
it feels like it should be.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, I guess it's halfway through, and then we'll do this dance number and dance a whole bunch, and then we'll sweat, and then that'll be it.
And so it's an entirely different. Like when we're choreographing modern pieces, it's a different feeling than when we're choreographing theatre pieces, and they're equal. Like I love doing musical theatre. I love seeing anything come to life and making things happen. I think we've always, and we've stuck to it. Not only do we work for the actor, but there is nothing that we choreograph that we don't want the author of that music and that script to be. They would look at it and say,
that was what we wanted.
That was what we wanted.
Yeah.
And that's really important to us.
This is why that song was there, and this is what I perceive.
And you did that,
happen,
and they say, in your own mind, you can say, they're going to say thank you.
Yeah.
Instead of, why did you put that cartwheel in the middle?
What age do we get this?
Of course, you're also saying, why did they put that song there? Why?
Once in a while.
I know, we go through that too.
Once in a while we do
Stupid.
that.
What kind of an author does this?
Yeah,
Oh, well.
that would have been, and what star was in the original one? That's it.
That's true. That is true. That's what happens.
Yeah, that does happen.
You've got someone who is the star. We got to put a dance in. Makes no sense, but they got to dance in this one. Yeah,
that's right.
So you're doing Little Shop of Horrors here at the Moose.
Yep.
What do you see as some of your challenges for that one? Having a live plant dance.
Well, no. Actually, what's interesting about this show is I think there's not a lot of dance in the show. It's Little Shop because it's a tribute to B movies and a look at the 60s, late 50s, early 60s as far as that goes. As far as that look goes, it's a lot of pictures.
Yeah,
And it's Mencken and so his lyrics are.
And it's really challenging in this space.
Yeah.
It's a good space.
Yeah.
I love the intimacy of it. We've done most of the shows for Brian in this space.
Brian Quinn. Yeah.
And other than the one you were in at the Yates. We did
one was
at
that?
Spamalot,
Spamalot,
yeah.
yep.
But overall we use this space. And it is challenging when you've got a small set because they can't do big changes like they can in the theatre.
Yeah.
And you've got to make numbers look a little different in every other thing, and you're limited. you shouldn't put dance in unless dance is needed.
Yeah.
Right? So you're limited in some, you know, like we all of a sudden sit there and go, okay, they were on the stoop in the last number. How can we make, we've only got a stoop. Now where can we take them to make
The
it
whole show's
look?
going to be over here.
Otherwise
so
it's going to be,
we're
and that's challenging. And if we do it this way and if we do it that way, and then so there's a lot of problem solving more in theatre, I think, than in dance.
And of course, you've got to be on the same page with the director too. Over the course of when you're doing a show, you know, they have to have a vision that goes along with yours, or vice versa.
Right, and that's communicating. I've sat down with Brian a number of times and said, "Oh, so are the girls?" Because the girls have, depending on what version of Little Shop you're looking at, the original one, the movie, the 2003 to 2009, the girls have a different role. These girls, which were, I really think, originally visioned as sort of a Greek chorus, sort of in the show but not in the show. They're sort of telling the story,
And it's been done
yet
in
they
many
have
different ways, yeah.
And then some they're actually physically in the show. They're nurses. They're whatever, you know.
And
that
some
sort
are
of
in
stuff.
the era, and
So-
some are in the date in now.
Yeah. So
There's lots of different
yeah,
ways.
and talking with them, and how do we perceive it? Because whatever we decide we have to do, if that's the way direction you're going with the
Yeah, we have to do
with
that
your
part. That's our
scenes,
job.
that's the way we have to do
Sure.
our choreography.
Yeah.
Other than that, it looks like a lie
Yeah, it
every
looks
time
like
we
3
sing.
things.
right?
That's when you
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
here's the dance, here's the song, and here's the acting.
yeah.
And you don't want that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you want it to look like it all melts
So
together.
yeah, so there's
Yeah.
you have to communicate and say.
Great.
And then you have to go, okay, I'll believe you. That's the way you see it. We'll do it.
Yeah, we do that. We've always done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
'cause
director
he's the
to
boss.
us is the boss.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what he sees, you know, and if we wanted to do more than that, then we should start
And we'll
directing
never
it.
do a show with him again.
But it is, yeah.
So as we look at 34 years, you know, and you sit down, got a little rum and whatever, and you reflect back for Mark.
Yeah.
What goes through your mind? And I'll ask this of you, Candy.
Yeah, I don't know. We started sitting in a whatever coffee shop that was.
Wasn't it
I
treats
don't
or was
know.
treats
No,
not
no,
treats?
it wasn't
something
treats.
else?
Treats, we did something else in
Now
there.
we're gonna go. Now we're gonna test the
but there was a
brain for
coffee-
something else.
It was a
What
coffee,
show was that?
coffee shop. It was a donut shop, which is no longer here. I think there's
Oh, was
Country
it-
Time.
Country time.
Yeah.
Country style.
country
Yeah,
style. That's
style,
right. We sat in
yeah.
country style
Yeah.
having a coffee,
Yeah.
and that's when we decided that we were going to start choreographing together, working towards a show, and then eventually turned into Danceworks. Sitting in a coffee, it's nice to sit around here and have
Yeah.
a coffee.
Yeah, it is that.
And that sort of thing. But over 34 years, I mean, the number of shows, we go, oh yeah, we did Oklahoma.
Yeah, yeah.
We've done,
Did we do that? Yeah, we did.
Yes, we've done My Fair Lady. Yes, yes, we've done. And
Chorus line
and-
twice, yeah, we did,
and yet, and some of the pieces that we've done, I sit back and I look at when I looked at old tapes and stuff like that, and I go, wow. Where was my head on that? But that is cool. You
Yeah,
know, and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that sort of thing. And over the years, there have been so many things that have been just so nice, and so many things that we've done. And I still don't feel. I mean, I don't feel 80 and some.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
And
So you got a lot in the tank left.
I don't know if I do, but I want to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
know-
We
you know
do
what I mean?
know that as long as his tank is still working,
Yeah,
I'm still working.
Yeah, yeah.
We do know that.
But what do you reflect on over the
Honestly,
time?
I have to honestly tell you that Brigadoon is one of my least favorite musicals. Sorry,
Brigadoon.
No, no.
Brigadoon.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Go home, go home,
Thank-
go home, the bond is you. Go home, go
I
home.
am grateful.
Oh,
Every day of my life, I'm
His choreography,
grateful
yeah.
for going to see that show.
Oh,
Because
that's
it
sweet.
put us on
yeah.
a different path.
Yeah.
Like the path, and I would never. There's no one I could think of that I would do this with
Yeah.
in my life, and I think we always knew that we would always be together as long as we lived in this city
Yeah.
in terms
Yeah.
of that and stuff. But here we are,
Yeah.
34 years later.
Onward and upward. And then so next is, of course, Little Shop, which
Yeah.
is in, what, you know the dates? Probably not.
No, not the exact dates. It's
It's
end,
around-
end of October, beginning of,
Sure.
of November.
November.
So it's 8 shows in there.
You
so.
can stop by Jabba the Hutt and get your
Yeah,
tickets.
That's
right
it,
now.
yeah.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
Mark Canny, thank you so much.
Thank
This
you.
has been fun.
Thank you, thank you.
And
Thank you.
by the way,
Yeah.
we've been together longer than 34 years.
Yes, we were, Annie, get your gun.
Yeah, Annie, get your gun.
It was 35 years. 30,
No, kind of 38, 39, 40 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
You look the same.
Cheers.
Cheers.